We all have heard about cursed objects that bring bad luck, dire illness, and even death. These items of misfortune are believed to have a pretty extensive and terrifying backstory attached to them, which are simply mind-boggling. Those who follow the laws of science and evidence require the notion of a curse to be proved or disproved in order to come to their own logical conclusion. But what about the situations that can't be explained? Over the course of history, various objects have become the center of attention. While they seem to be cursed, how can they be cursed? Why are they cursed? And what does the curse entail? Buckle up, because you'll definitely get horrified of these 10 cursed objects science can't explain. So watch this video to the very end to find out which items. Number 10. The woman from the LEMB statue. Infamous within the history and art worlds, the woman from the LEMB statue was found in Cyprus in 1878 and is an eye-catching artifact carved from limestone. Since its discovery, the statue has been passed around from family to family, with none of them wanting to keep it for too long. That is because those who have been in possession of this artifact have all passed away within a year of obtaining it. When it was actually handed over to the Royal Scottish Museum, the person who was in charge of handling and looking after the statue also passed away within a year. Since then, it has been kept safely behind lock and key. Number 9. Annabelle the doll. The discovery of this doll dates back to 1970, when a mother bought it from an antique shop as a birthday present for her daughter. Soon after, the family noticed strange things happening inside their house related to the doll. The family then called for help of psychic investigators, who found that the doll is inhabited by an inhuman spirit. The doll is now looked after by those at the Warren Occult Museum in Connecticut, with a warning on the glass case not to touch. Unfortunately, one museum goer who ignored the warnings and taunted the doll died in a motorcycle crash shortly after being told to leave the museum. Number 8. The Curse of Pompeii. The volcanic eruption in Pompeii in 79 BCE has gone down in history as one of the most devastating events, but also one of the most incredible. That's because the ash from the volcano perfectly preserved the city of Pompeii. The ancient site is one of Italy's most visited attractions, and because it is so iconic, many people try to make remains of ash or archaeological objects from the burial site. But tourists who stole fragments from the city has returned the artifacts with letters explaining the result of their action, which brought them bad luck and a curse upon their houses. Number 7. The Hope Diamond. Believed to have come to the surface 1.1 billion years ago, this gem is estimated to be worth $250 million. However, there are very few people in the world who want to get their hands on this diamond. That's because the jewel is believed to be one of the most cursed objects since the 17th century and brings great misfortune and misery to its wearer. Rumored victims of it have suffered disgrace, divorce, suicide, imprisonment, torture, financial ruin, lynching, or decapitation. Because of this, it was eventually handed over to the Smithsonian Museum for it to be looked after properly. Number 6. Petrified trees. Although we're used to normal forests, Arizona boasts their very own Petrified Forest National Park. This area of land is full of petrified trees that lay in the desert and bemuse those who visit. Because of its beauty and uniqueness, many visitors like to take home a souvenir. They take a piece of petrified tree or even fill their pockets with rocks. But bad luck comes to those who possess stolen petrified wood and rocks. From medical conditions to generally terrible lives and even death, the Petrified Forest National Park has received bucket loads of confessions, tales of tragedy, and returned petrified wood from those who live to regret it. Number 5. The Bassano Vase. The Bassano vase was the wedding gift that changed the lives of many. The silver vase, which was reportedly made during the 15th century, was given to an Italian bride on the eve of her wedding. However, as she got ready for her big day, she was found murdered with the vase in her hand. The vase was then passed on from families to families, each claiming unfortunate death of loved ones. In 1988, it was auctioned, but the bidder died within 3 months. Today, the vase was allegedly buried by officials in a lead coffin at an inaccessible place to keep its curse away. Number 4. The Iceman. The mummy of Ötzi, also known as the Iceman, was found in 1991 in the Ötztal Alps in Italy. It is believed his body was preserved because of the glacier that surrounded him after he died. But once on Earth, rumors of a curse surfaced too and grew stronger as people linked to him began to die, often in violent accidents. Forensic pathologist Rainer Henn died in a horrific car accident. Mountaineer Kurt Fritz died in an avalanche, and hiker Helmut Simon, who discovered the Iceman on a hike with his wife, died after falling off a dangerous hidden path. Number 3. James Dean's Little Bastard. Little Bastard was what James Dean called his silver Porsche 550 Spider, the car he died in following an accident in 1955. The car also killed and injured many others who came in contact with it, causing many to say that it was cursed. The man who originally customized the car bought the wrecked carcass of the Porsche 550, and soon after, it slipped off its trailer and broke a mechanic's leg. Not long after that, he sold the engine and drivetrain to 2 men who were both involved in horrific accidents, one of which was fatal. Also, a truck driver passed away in a car crash transporting the empty shell of the car. Number 2. The Busby Stoop Chair. The Busby Stoop Chair. Thomas Busby is notorious for taking the lives of countless people in the early 1700s, but before he was sent to the electric chair, he sat down on his wooden chair to have a meal. Upon finishing his meal, he stood and said, quote, "May sudden death come to anyone who dares sit on my chair," end quote. And ever since then, those who have sat in the chair have suffered disastrous consequences. In fact, almost all of them have passed away within just hours of sitting down on the wood. The owner then gifted it to the Thirsk Museum, where it now resides high on a wall where no one need fear an accident because of sitting in it. Number 1. King Tut's Tomb. Perhaps the most famous curse of all is the tomb of King Tut, the burial place of the 19-year-old pharaoh. Ever since King Tut's tomb was discovered in Egypt's Valley of the Kings, stories circulated that those who dared violate his final resting place faced bad luck, illness, or death. It is widely claimed that many people associated with opening the tomb fell soon victim to the curse. The belief started in 1922 Howard Carter expedition with the financial backer, Lord Carnarvon, who died when a mosquito bite became infected. After its discovery, 20 more deaths of people would get blamed of the curse by 1935. Now you've finally heard and seen some cursed objects that science can't explain. Among these objects, which one horrified you the most? Sound off in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. Until next time.